through the phone. Some people were saying I have a problem hearing me when I'm talking through the phone. So I'm gonna wait a few minutes, let everybody load in, lock in, or whatever. Something did in my heart that I want to talk about. So it's only been 17, 18 seconds. So a request of one of my friends. I'm actually gonna wait a little bit, let everybody pile in here and everything like that, and then we can start talking because this is something that really, really, really needs to be talked about. Not only does it need to be spoken about, I think it's a lot less people talking about this one situation that should be. You know what I mean? And it should be more people talking about it. But in these facilities, and you guys know what I'm talking about where I'm at comparatively, um, there's evidently, and I've caught it on camera now twice, all right, um, gentlemen other than myself speaking of the same thing where there's no COVID-19 testing or either, it's limited or whatever the case. So let me tell you how my last 12 hours have went. My last 12 hours, as far as this is concerned, have went pretty crazy. Um, Not from a sense per se of destitute or nothing like that, but just worry. First, it was two gentlemen boarded in last night. Previously, if y'all know, you can go down below and watch the videos for yourself. I had nobody next to me, okay? So last night, two gentlemen came in, and I know why they were there. They were there because the other facility, see, there's a waiting list to this thing. So basically, what happens is you're put on a waiting list, and once that waiting list is open, any form or fashion or whatever throughout the state of Connecticut currently, those people are placed in there. And so we had an opening of probably like four people, right? And so we got those four people. They got those four people, or whatever. I hope you guys can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me very well or not. All right. So they got rid of a total of four people altogether. So they brought in two more. So those two guys were placed right next to me. Now one of the guys smelled like high hell. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even gonna hold you. He smelled terrible. There are two showers in there. And he decided that, I guess, some form of fashion or another, he wasn't going to take a shower. Hola, ¿cómo tú estás? It was kind of like this apparent to me that this gentleman had no intention of going to take a shower or didn't want to take a shower for whatever reason it may be, which is beyond me. I don't know. What I do know is this. That man was not only put next to me and started coughing and all that stuff. And at that point, I took my bed and I moved my bed over because I'm like, I'm not going to be next to nobody coughing coming off the street. And he wasn't tested. Now, the other gentleman, I'll give it to his avail, he actually had a mask on. You know what I mean? Which was cool. And I said, all right, at least he was at least empathetic enough to the situation to at least have a mask on and wear a mask. So I can applaud that. But his friend, on the other hand, nah, he didn't do that at all. So it was at that point I said to myself, I said, you know what, it's going to be a problem with these two. And lo and behold, it was. So I wake up this morning, and I noticed that one dude is going out, but I thought I hear him asking for towels and stuff like that. So I said, okay, he's cool. You know, even though I don't need to know him on a personal level, he's cool at this point because he actually went and tried to bathe and clean himself. You know what I mean? So it's a lot that's happened in the past 12 hours. So just bear with me because I'm gonna tell you guys this. So I noticed the homie didn't. He just continued to be there. He didn't move. He didn't want to move. It seemed like, and I said, okay, well, all right, that's cool. So, hey, what's going on, Las Vegas? Kareem Smith want to check in. What's up, baby? So at that point, I was just like, let me know if you guys can hear me, all right, because I got the mic close to me, but I don't know if it's close enough to pick up my voice. So if you can't hear me, let me know. Plus, I got this mask on, so it's kind of hard. This guy did not go take a shower. In fact, he had the audacity to make up his bed, and he just left and went on about his way. Okay, thanks, Kareem. He just left and went about his way. And I was just like, okay. So at that point, I walk into the room and I say to everybody I say to them to his man, because I'm assuming he's still there. His man is still there, not the one that took a shower, but the one that didn't. So I'm assuming he's still there. And lo and behold, he ain't there. He took off and left for the day, just like that. And it disturbed me. It disturbed me so much because I started thinking to myself, and I started being like, you know what? This is someone that does this all of the time. And no matter how much you try to scolded to do something else. They're not. So I walk in the room and I say, all right, so y'all niggas don't take those showers? Like, I ain't got time to be waiting back and letting shit pent up and wait 10 minutes later. No, we'll take care of this shit right now. So his man said, nah, this is what the coach said. I said, all right, you Gucci, you good. You know what I'm saying? And then he got the jitters after that or whatever. But, you know, it is what it is. But his man, I got to talk to his man now. Switch fast forward to this. So I'm already in a bad mood because it's raining today, as you guys can see. That's why I got this umbrella. This is Connecticut weather for you. Connecticut weather never stays consistent, let me tell you. I don't know where you guys live at in Las Vegas, and there's other cities and states around the country that do the same. But there's nowhere that stays inconsistent with the weather like Connecticut. 3 days ago, it was 20 and 20-something degrees. Yesterday was 50 degrees. The day before that was, yeah, all right. And then today is raining. It's always different weather here. So I'm like having my coffee, you know, I always got my coffee with me. So I'm having my coffee, and I'm smoking a cigarette. So there's this little doorway passage thing that I can stand at or whatever. So I take the umbrella. The umbrella is now, if you can imagine, upside down, so like this. You know what I mean? But it's opened. So I lay the umbrella down, and this is a small space. This is a doorway space. You dig what I'm saying? So this white gentleman walks up and it sees to, like, I don't know if he was trying to grab me or what. And I'm just like, yo, I know this motherfucker did not just grab me. Now, these people out here in Connecticut, they have a tendency to be a little too friendly sometimes. So I didn't know if this man grabbed me because he was ready to do something or what he was doing. But my first reaction living in the Bronx was to snuff this motherfucker, which I did. I snuffed his ass. I didn't mean to hit him as hard as I did, but I hit him. So he walks over. He's like, yo, man, what? Now, mind you, this man didn't have no mask on. The dude he was with didn't have no mask on. And they like this to me. They're like this to me. Breathing, everything, just talking. And then I'm like, yo, Money, get the fuck up on out of here. He didn't want to do that, so I had to do what I had to do, and I snuffed him. So, you know, it is what it is. That wasn't the problem. The problem was, just like these punk motherfuckers do around here, he goes and tells his man. So his man comes back, the other two stand to the side, like the two cowards that they are. They stand to the side, and his man is talking. So this is the first thing he says to me. Hey, yo, my man. Like all this like 1970s slang or something. I'm like, motherfucker, I wasn't even born in the 70s. What the fuck you think this is? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but that's how some white folks are. They dizzy like that. So not all white people, but some white people, they dizzy like that. Like they live in delusion. So I was like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna say nothing more. I'm gonna keep it the way it is, and I'm gonna keep it moving. So I said to myself like this. I said, there's got to be something more to this than it was. This motherfucker gonna say to me, hey, yo, my man, did you just hit this guy? I said, yeah. I said, if you don't back up, the same thing's gonna happen to you. Don't be in my vicinity with no fucking mask on. That's just what it is. You know what I mean? And if you don't think I'm not gonna say anything about it, you out of your fucking mind. All right? I do the due diligence of wherever I have to go into, whether it's a restaurant, whether it's a bar, restaurant deal, whatever, because they serve food in there, or whatever it is. I throw my mask on because that's what's mandated by not only the state, but that's what you should be doing. These motherfuckers were this close to me talking. And I think it was more so the audacity that he didn't think that, well, I don't want to say that and assume that, but obviously he was not thinking, because if he was thinking, he would have thought, hey, COVID-19 is going on right now. I'm in this man's face and I'm attempting to get into a doorway. When I say a doorway space, like I mean a doorway. It's like, it's literally a door right there. It's an entryway to the door. And so it's me and an open umbrella. And you're trying to squeeze your way into there. What did you think was going to happen? And see, this is the problem I have a lot of times out here in Connecticut, because you have a lot of, let me tell you something. So in this environment out here, you have a long history standing of minorities out here that live in poverty. Same thing as in New York, but it's a lot different here. In here, it's a bunch of small municipalities, little pockets, right? And they're all across the state. So you have like 4 counties, 5 counties, something like that, and a whole bunch of little towns in between them. And each one of those little towns, they institute whatever they're going to do, whatever way they're going to do it. And that's how they've been living 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, sometimes even 60 years in that particular town. Okay, so they all have their own little ethics and morality, false morality most of the time that they live by. You know, that most people across the country wouldn't even fucking think about. But touche. What that brings is arrogance, it brings this narcissism, and it brings this type of attitude of, I could do whatever the fuck I want to do to you, but how dare you respond or react or anything else? And I'm sorry, I live in New York City. I don't understand that shit. To be quite frank with you, you sound like a retard. Because you can't make the distinction. I'm talking about two grown gentlemen older than me cannot make the distinction that we're having a worldwide pandemic. I'm in a hallway space, and you are attempting not only yourself, which would be too much of a bearing already, because now you're almost at arm's length with me, but you want you and another gentleman. So basically, you were trying to force me out of the space so you could accommodate the space yourself. And then when you get punched in the face, as I did, now you're a victim. But you were the aggressor. See, this is the mentality that a lot of old school, and when I say old school, I don't mean this in a racist way, but old school white people play out here. They've been doing it for years. They've been doing it for years. It's so evident. And then when you call them on it and you say, hey, I know what you're doing, they get upset, you know? And it's sad and it's tragic. It's really tragic, you know? But this is what this man did. So I told this man, I said, yo, listen, if you don't get out of my face, the same thing gonna happen to you. All of a sudden, he want to change the conversation. Well, he's got cancer. Well, if he got cancer, first of all, he should have a mask on because COVID-19 will just induce his cancer, wouldn't you think? You would think that would be like it would just be a self-explanatory. Damn, you're hot. It would just be self-explanatory, but to some people, it's not. It's not that COVID-19 is going on. It's not that you should be tested. In some fact, some people live day to day right now for the past couple of months acting like COVID-19 is not even going on. It's sad, but it's true. You know, you look around the country, you got people in Jersey having parties, you got people in New York and Brooklyn having parties, you have people out here in Connecticut having parties. Everything's a fucking party right now, I swear. What are we celebrating? What are we celebrating? If you're partying right now, what are you celebrating? The victory, you took the vaccine and it worked? What are we celebrating? And those are some of the questions that nobody asks themselves when they want to have this desire, this party. That innately says something about yourself too. So back to what I was saying. You got a whole bunch of blacks and Latinos that have basically been segregated into a certain bunch class-wise out here. Now, it exists in New York too, don't get me wrong. And it exists in law as well with Italians, poor white trash, and all so forth and on. The point is, the class system itself is a little bit skewed here. Because here, you could be a blue-collar worker, and you're on a scale where I live at. You better work where I've worked at, or nobody's even paying attention to you. I'm sorry. Anybody lives in New York, anybody knows why I'm so popular on YouTube. The reason is why is because I've worked for not one, but two, but three different record companies. I work for Interscope, I work for BMG, which is Arista Bertelsmann Music Group, and I've also worked for Atlantic Records. All with distributors for Bad Boy Entertainment. I worked at the companies for over 16 years, you know? So at one time or another, each one of them was a distributor because this was the time when we had physical copies, physical vehicles, basically to distribute music. So this is a different time. Since 2015, I have not been a part of that company, but I've been in so many other endeavors with Sean Prez, who was actually ex-Bad Boy too, just mentioned us the other day on his live. So thank you for that and giving us a plug where it was needed. And I'm going to throw that clip up after I do this live. I think the thing that most upset me today, you know, is this. How can you be the director and you're not protecting yourself from COVID-19 when that is the most paramount issue that we have going on right now in the U.S. and across the world, COVID-19, and for some reason or another, you ended up catching it. Now, I got a litany of different possibilities of why she might have caught it. One, she's older, okay? And let's not sit here and act like we're talking crap about it, because I'm not, all right? I actually like the lady, all right? But you walk around frequently without a mask. And I noticed this. And it's out of my place to say anything, because if I do, then that tells a whole hoopla that you got everybody talking or whatever. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to say anything, but I noticed it. Poof. Yesterday I go to tour tour, whatever, because monthly we got to pay. So I go to tour tour, and when I'm going to tour to her, I notice one thing. She rolls down the window. She tells me to step back like this. So I step back and I'm thinking, okay, this is a regular thing here. She just wants me to, step back for precaution. No, it's because, come to find out, she's been diagnosed as positive for COVID-19. And I'm like, ah. So I intended to put my mask on before I approached her or whatever, and I had to run back upstairs to get my phone because I left my phone plugged up. But this is not why I found out that she was diagnosed. Oh, no. After this morning, after telling the old hombre there he needed to go take a bath for some reason or another, because this 50-plus-year-old man didn't know that he was supposed to take baths in life for some reason or another. It'd always be these old motherfuckers. You know what I mean? So I find out shortly from there, and I put up a video of it, and it's down below. So if you guys want to hop off real quick, it's about, I don't know, about 7 minutes long. I'm going to do this for about an hour or so. So if you want to hop off and go view that video and then come back, you can. Everybody's just loading in anyway, so that's why I'm taking my time, because I see a lot of my regulars here. Sandra Mendoza, what's going on? Kareem Smith, how you doing? It's apparent to me that at that point, there's some protocols that are not being taken to ensure our safety. Is that fair to say? There's some protocols that are being not taken that the state itself of Connecticut mandates by the governor himself, Ned Lamont. Is that going too far? And somehow or another, the upheaval or the upheaval of these practices are not being taken seriously for some reason. I just want to understand why. What happens if I was to catch COVID-19 in there? Who's going to cover me legally? Right now, we have a proposition right now amongst the new stimulus of whether or not we're going to give liabilities to companies once they catch COVID-19. Now, I don't know how much that refers to the in comparison to what I'm talking about, but something to worry about, don't you think? Just a little bit. So she's been diagnosed with that, and I'm assuming that she's going to be out. But on top of that, she was scheduled to leave December the 14th anyway, okay, permanently. So it's going to be taken over by new agency, new services, whatever the case may be. As far as the lady I directly deal with, the same thing. She's pregnant, immensely pregnant. So she will be out of the door in January. Out of the door. Which leaves myself, which leaves me pondering the question, will I be taken care of before that time occurs and happens? And that question I haven't asked because I think it's bold. That question I haven't anchored to the way I should, but I will. I think I'll spend the next 2 or 3 days actually anchoring down and actually seeing for myself what I think, not only that, but where this could be a possibility and go. Like, what could be the possible outcome of this ultimately? You know what I mean? Could it be a situation where I catch COVID-19 and nobody's responsible? Could it be that I catch COVID-19 and what would be the response rate? Who would know? Who would be able to? See, there's a litany of different questions that need to be asked and nobody's answering them or addressing them. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what has me scared. Because if you don't care about somebody's health or the health or the well-being of the people around you, what happens is eventually or not, it starts becoming a deplorable place to be. You understand what I'm saying? It becomes a deplorable situation. It becomes a deplorable aptitude to the test of time, and it wastes your time. And I don't know if any of y'all understand what I'm saying or not, but I understand what I'm saying, and I don't know how to put it in any other words. That place is dangerous. It's dangerous for me to be there. And the more and more people are going to start coming in, that place is going to get packed again. And what's going to happen is somebody's going to come in there with that COVID shit. They do not test us, Sandra. They have. I have not, Sandra. No, they don't test us. You know, I get tested basically in a hurry fashion. When I go to New York, they test us. They test us getting off the train and getting on the train. That's as far as the what's the name is concerned. It's random. When I go to other places, they'll have like, the wand or whatever. So, the last time that happened was definitely probably 3 days ago, and as of then, I didn't have anything. But no, they don't test us. No, they don't test us at all. Evidently, they don't test the staff. They don't test the What's the word I'm looking for? The clients, nothing's going on. And this is not what I'm trying to be so paramount about and so adamant about and expressing to y'all is this is not the first time. This is my experience with it. I have two videos below where I caught this man in Manhattan and he was just on the train and he talked about the same thing. I caught someone randomly, I think it was in Chelsea somewhere, and they explained the same thing, you know? So it's like, I guess there is somehow or another a different pattern of thinking, maybe that may be, but evidently it's not taking flight. It's not taking flight, and this is a result of it. Now I'm in that place, and I'm thinking to myself, I need to go. I need to leave. It was already bad enough that Christmas is on the way. Christmas 2020. I think everybody will remember this one, huh? One way, one fashion or another. We'll all remember Christmas 2020. But I don't want to move. I don't want to, remember it in a bad fashion. I don't want to remember the New Year in a bad fashion as well. You know, I don't know who can understand that, who can't understand that, or whatever. But if you can or you can't, I mean, that's on you. That's the lack of your own, brain pattern and pathways or whatever, and that's fine. That's fine. But what I'm telling you is, as time progresses, what you say? As time progresses, it's going to get worse and worse than that. Yeah, I know everybody prays, but and I'm with that. Don't get me wrong, okay? I'm with that. I'm with God. I love God. I was brought up in the church, all that. But then there's a difference of this. Well wishes are one thing, but well wishes don't have dollar signs behind it. It can't be used as tenure. And that's what we're talking about here. They can't be used to induct a transaction, so to say. So when we say, okay, hey, well wishes, I hope everything gets better, and blah, 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 blah. I get it, and I love that energy. I love that energy, and thank y'all so much for that energy. But what I really need y'all to do is somebody can put my what's the name in there. That would really be cool. $STRINGERBELL 80. That's Stringer Bell 80 on Cash App. Also in the description box, you also guys can hit a PayPal, all right? But well wishes don't translate into monetarily much. You know what I mean? And so I love the well wishes or whatever, but really what I will regularly guys do is hit the like button and donate. That's the two things. Because this is something that can be eradicated by prayer. Prayer is great. Prayer is wonderful. Prayer is amazing. But at the end of the day, prayer only substitutes your moment. Is that the best way to put it? It substitutes your moment, and it's a way of a coping mechanism. You know what I'm saying? People since the freaking plantation have been praying. And literally you can take yourself out of poverty if you just help one another monetarily. Like literally, that's something to pray for. And instead, you guys want to celebrate icons individually. And these icons, they turn around and they turn their back on you. They don't care about you. They don't care where you're going. They don't care what your life's like, anything like that. Tell me one rapper that's reached out to you since the pandemic is going on. Now shut up. I've reached out to rappers and asked rappers to help me. If I can't sell them a story, they don't want to be bothered with me. I've reached out to people I knew in the business, asked them to, hit my thing, man, da. But when my story broke, everybody was sending me $2,000 here, $100 here. I put that up about Storm Monroe yesterday. Then I ended up actually taking it down because I felt at a certain point I was giving Storm too much energy. And Storm Monroe is not worth my energy. Not to that degree anyway. So I left it alone. I'll make some mentions of him. So far it's been quiet. I haven't heard anything from Tasha K. So, but the day is not done. The day is not done. That place is a haunted trap, a trap that's coming very soon to a close. And I'm learning all these things. Day by day closer as this woman is leaving. I mean, how convenient is that? Today is December what? What's today's date? December the 12th. She was scheduled to leave the 14th. That was supposed to be her last day, which would be Monday. So it don't even matter if she recorded or not because she wouldn't have been there on Monday anyway. That was the last day, and if she would have been there, it would have been the last day. Now I don't know if this woman is hitting retirement age at this point or whatever the case is, but she walked away. And there's nothing there to keep her there. There's nothing there to harbor her there or anything otherwise than that. God bless you, David. I know someone has COVID on the first floor at Fort Bell Administration in Brooklyn from DHS. See what I'm saying? It's the same thing. And you know what I think it is? It's because they feel so lax when they're back at home. Like I can imagine the angle that's coming from because okay, say you're at work all day and you wore your freaking mask all freaking day, right? And now you're home, you're around your loved ones, and you're like, okay, well, nobody around here's been sick all day, or nobody's been sick here yet. All right, so I'm going to take my mask off and walk around. That's cool and dandy. But you don't know where those people that are also in your house, who they've been around, and whether they were wearing the mask as frequently as you would prefer. See, that's the questions that don't get asked. When you're at home in such a space where you feel comfortable, where you feel safe. In Connecticut. I'm not in New York. Do not know how to handle COVID. Yeah, I know they don't because this is the first time for them dealing with it. Derek, you're right. No, I'm in Connecticut though. I'm in Connecticut. I didn't want to deal with that in New York, to be honest with you. So. Yeah, I'm in Connecticut though. I've been out in Connecticut now for almost 2.5, going on 3 months now. Yeah. Just right across the water. Just right across the water. Not far away, but yeah. So been adjusted to being back out here. It's definitely different than the town, for many of different reasons. I will say this much: the place is nicer, but I don't give a fuck because NY is terrible. Oh God, New York is beyond terrible. I had what had happened with me and the circumstances that happened. It happened so quickly at the time, brother. That's what I was going to say. And it happened so quickly that I didn't get a chance to eradicate. So I went through that whole process of, calling people and all that stuff or whatever. And ultimately it was just like a dead end road. You know what I mean? Like it really wasn't much feedback. The little bit of feedback I did get, it took time every time to get, questions answered to simple things, calling 311. So finally I started calling both of them. And I got to Connecticut because I had lived here before. Long time ago, but I lived here before, and I've been going here for probably 6, 7 years between here and Stanford. And so I left here, and I said, well, this is a safer haven than being in NY right now because NY had went crazy. I can't even explain to y'all. We went from one tragedy to another, literally. In New York, we went from being in quarantine, seeing the streets flooded with thousands upon thousands of people, even at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes I wouldn't even come in at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning because we still out. You know what I mean? The bars, everything don't close at 4. It was 3:30, everybody start closing up. But usually around about 3 or so, everybody start heading out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And Derek know what I'm talking about. We literally went from, Derek just said word. We literally went from that, being in quarantine for every good part of almost 3 months, to now everybody's being pushed back into the street. And so here comes the second tragedy. And the second tragedy was all the violence, or the wave of violence that came. And it's coming from everybody, the majority of it is coming from the homeless crowd, the severely mentally ill homeless crowd. They got their own story in it too. I think more so what happened with them was, there's a lot of people that get in Manhattan especially. So a lot of them will frequent Manhattan instead of going to Queens or Brooklyn or something like that. So the crazy thing is all them dudes, they'll go down in the subway, they go down there and sleep, they ride the train all night or whatever. They do it like that. And then the other thing they would do is they would do this. They would panhandle all day. And when they panhandle, what they would do is they would be outside and they would that's how they did their thing, and pretty much they had people that would give them money day to day. So they had a regular routine of how they panhandled, whether it was for cigarettes, money, whatever. This is a New York City crowd. This is what it is. You get used to it. And so now you're taking all those people out of the street and all that little income that they had daily, and you're taking that away from them, and you're literally at this point now, they have nowhere to go. You know what I'm saying? So we started seeing at first. I started seeing an influx of people in the subway sleeping, like especially on anybody that know Harlem, anybody that know Brooklyn, especially on that, I'm gonna say on that C line going into Brooklyn down by Franklin and all that. I'm gonna definitely say 180th. That was definitely another hot spot. 180th. Probably Fordham a little bit more so than anywhere. Fordham got severely hit by a crowd down there. So it was like they were all now at this point not in the subway ends anymore. They were like, you know what I mean, just everywhere. And so the lack of having a little bit of resources they had, the lack of that little bit of coffee they might have got a day, or the lack of that dollar bill is now diminished and gone. And so now it's frustration. Now you put that in common with people that have mental problems and things like that. I'm talking about severe mental problems. I'm not talking about light mental problems. I'm talking about severe mental problems. And they've been put in a situation now where it's fight or flight, you know? And unfortunately, it's getting worse. Right now, they're saying New York City has one of the worst. They have a homeless crisis, you know? So if anything, if anywhere, I didn't want to be. And then why? Because if I could say it the right way, I kind of projected it to go that direction. I know that city. I know that city like the back of my hand. I know the temperament of the people. I know the movement of the people. The same way I know the temperament and the movement of people in Connecticut. I was blessed to live in both. But in New York, because we're so small, we're so big, but we're small at the same time. I mean, like, I don't know if a lot of you guys know, but New York is basically separated by a bunch of islands and bridges. You understand what I'm saying? And there's a whole bunch of other islands outside those 5 main islands, which are Manhattan, Bronx, Queens. We have something, I think it's like close to 70, 80 different little small islands all around the region of New York City. So if you didn't know that, I encourage you to look it up. I implore you to look it up. Business started shutting down. That was another powerful impactor. So when the businesses started shutting down, everybody started seeing, hey, we can't make any money. Hey, we can't make our rent. Hey, we can't do this. We can't do that. All of a sudden, everybody started flooding out, leaving. Now, so to date, right now, the demographics show we have 425,000 people within the fiscal year of 2020, within a couple short months. So COVID was like officially for us, I'm going to say in New York, it being a Bronx guy, I'm going to say probably March. That's when they started really, really focusing in on it. And that was from the directive of Cuomo, not de Blasio. Oh, God. So once that happened, you now got everybody in despair because nobody knows what to do. I went to Trader Joe's one time. I stopped going to the one on 23rd Street. So I started going down to the one on DeKalb. Okay, I got to go across the Brooklyn Bridge here, don't you know? And so I go over there, and there's a line around the corner. Damn, they went to over there to Long Island University. And I'm sitting there, and I'm thinking to myself, I said, oh, God, this is just a precursor of what's to come. I put up a video, and it's down below, and you guys can check it out. Some of you guys checked it out, some of you didn't. I actually got caught in the riots they had. I got caught in Manhattan. It was unfortunate because what it basically happened was these guys had literally, and I lie to you not only broken down and broken in stores, they had broken windows, they had popped ATMs, they did a whole bunch of crazy shit. And I filmed it all. I was right in the midst of it. There's one part in the clip where there's this guy running past me with a record player, well, not a record player, but a DJ set. And he sits it down right underneath the freaking mailbox. And I'm like, oh, God, this is, and, you know, being it's our town, you know, you get accustomed to certain things. And certain things happen, and certain things you see living in New York, and you're like, oh, my God, what the hell? You know, I've seen everything, you know. I've seen it all. I've seen people simulate and almost have sex on the train. I've seen people, you name it, you see it in one of the boroughs. That's just what it is. And if you go a little bit further than that, you'll see it all throughout the freaking tri-state here. You know what I mean? They all got their looms. But that was one of the most tragic parts of it. Now, I come out of COVID-19. I want you to follow my story here. I come out of the COVID-19 thing. I'm now leaving New York, and I don't want to leave New York. I'm going to tell you this. Leaving New York was one of the hardest things that I did. When I was on that train and I was riding out here, The only thing I kept thinking was, damn, I'm thinking one, I'm leaving my friends. Okay, that's the first thing I'm thinking. I'm like, they don't have the same options as me. They can't leave and come to Connecticut, so I'm leaving my friends in New York to come out here. But it was at that time it was about self-preservation, don't you think? What month? God, September, October, November, December. So actually, I've been out here close going on to 4 months this month. My fault. So I've been out here 3 months, and I'm going on close to 4 months. See how much I lost time? You know, it's. I'm terribly freaking bored out here. Um, the people are like, some people are nice out here, but the latter part of most of the people out here, they're like, I can't tell if they're racist or obnoxious. It's like it's hard to tell, but they're very obnoxious people, not very friendly people, you know. And you would think like people in New York are more friendlier than the people here. The people here, most of them are a bunch of wannabe cocksuckers, to be quite honest with you. But you know, he'll live through it. I'm going to be here probably for another, I don't know, maybe month tops, and after that, I'm the fuck out of here. I don't. I want to go to Miami. That's where I want to go. I know people in Miami. I have friends in Miami. I've been going to Miami for years, so I think that's where I want to go. And then, ironically enough, just today, I ran into one of my friends. I hadn't seen this guy probably in a good better part of like 10 or 11 years, and he lives down in Atlanta. And I had thought about Atlanta, especially for the industry I was in New York. It's the perfect place because our industry is still going on. You know, media is still popping and a ride. There's other media companies down there that I can work for. Um, but I'm gonna honestly and truthfully say I'm gonna miss what I was doing. I'm gonna miss the buildings. I'm gonna miss the flow of New York. I'm gonna miss a lot of things that you just can't get anywhere else, but you can get it here in New York Tri-State. You know, that's all three of them. You know, they all have their pluses and minuses. All three of them. Especially down there in Jersey, you fuckers. Oh, God. At one time, New Jersey, they were putting up the street signs spelt wrong. I swear to God to you, it's true. Who was the fat mayor they had, the fat governor they had? Christie, the one who ran for president. Under his administration, they spelled the street signs wrong and put up a whole bunch of them all around New Jersey. I swear to God to you, look it up. New Jersey also had lead in their water for the longest times. I'm talking about in the previous time here. You miss the country. You miss I don't miss the country. I don't miss the country at all. To be quite honest with you, I don't. I'm not a rural type of guy, but I'm this type of guy. And this is why I'm returning not to back to New York, because that's just not a smart move right now. Moving back to the Bronx right now is just not the best move right now. You know, it really isn't. And, you know, out here in this part of Connecticut, you got a lot of, see these guys out here, most of them, and I'm not making fun of any of them because I used to live out here with them, but they try to act like they're tough, you know, and that's the thing. And the way I'm used to reacting, like that dude, I didn't want to hit that guy that hard. I really didn't. I was trying to make it so I didn't hit him that hard, and I ended up hitting him that hard anyway. So he ended up bleeding. I tell people all the time, listen, I've taken Muay Thai classes. I've taken light boxing in Brooklyn. And now I defend myself. And you have to. You walk around Brooklyn at 4 o'clock in the fucking morning if you want to. All right? Walk around Brooklyn at 4 o'clock in the morning, don't know nobody over there. See what happens. You know, being a minority. You would think being someone white, but no, being a minority. And you'll see what happens. It's crazy. Yeah, that's exactly what happens. They sending everybody there now. I heard that because they had a couple of places all throughout the city, but I hear now that's the staple. And then I heard they're putting people over there on Billionaires Row, up there by the 50s. I heard they were doing that in Manhattan, and then they had a problem with that over there. If you guys don't know, they were housing a whole bunch of people from the homeless shelters to kind of like separate them, I guess. And so they were putting them in hotels that had been closed down. A whole bunch of the hotels in New York now are closed down. Like I would say the majority of hotels in New York right now. 30th Street, yeah, 30th Street is where Oliveri is too. Antonio Oliveri, yup. 30th Street, First Avenue. Wow, that's way over there too. First Ave is so, damn she fine. First, it's a fine ass white woman out here. I swear, to God, I'm gonna go there. It's a fine ass white woman out here. I will say that. Um, I think 30th and First. That's almost close to. God, that's almost close to going to the east side, damn near, isn't it? I think so. She's cute. Going to, y'all gotta excuse me. I'm looking at this woman. She was fine. Yeah, that's the other thing too I miss about New York. New York, there's always women walking around. Out here, oh my God, you don't even know. You guys, you'd be surprised. It's very different out here. You know, it's slow paced. You're bored most of the time. I try to pass the time however I can pass the time. Working most of the time, uploading material for you guys. And working on projects, hopefully, if New York opens back up, I'll be able to fulfill. You know, there's a lot of stuff that I left that wasn't fulfilled, was in the process of being fulfilled, and now not only me, but the person that was granting the blessing to me, we both messed up right now. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I don't know what that is. But yeah, 30th and First Ave, I know that right there. I know 30th and First. I know 30th First over all the way over to freaking Penn Station right there. You know what I mean? It all runs unilateral. So yeah, I know that whole area right there. How do I feel now that I know the director at the freaky shelter has COVID-19? Man, oh man, oh man. That's crazy, right? And then they put two people next to me. And I'm like, what's going on here? What are we doing? You know, there's no protection for us there or whatever. So, guys, I'm going to give this a month here, you know? And I got to take Will back down to Miami. I can't. It's too cold here. It's uncomfortable here. The fucking, it's like a fucking funeral. You know what I mean? I'm like, this is the place you come to die. If you're going to die, you die of some terminal illness or something, you come here to die. You don't come here to live. It doesn't even make sense. You know what I mean? Like, how much could you ascertain around here? I mean, okay, not to be funny. Compared to NY, compared to Stanford, compared to Greenwich, compared to Fairfield County, because most of the people live in Fairfield. That's why I'm moving back to that area. Most of the people who live in Fairfield work in New York. So I don't know if you guys know, even the minimum wage, you wait for the comedy clubs to open back up. Okay, so I'm going to put you on to something. My man DJ Mike Neezy's over in the BX. You need to go check out Salsa Con Fuego. All right, go check that out over there. You're going to have to go you can catch the BX12 over there. All right, I don't know how you move around, but if you can, you can catch the BX12 right there that goes across the street, across from Fordham. Go right there and go catch the BX12. Catch that over, go to Salsa Con Fuego. I'm at, well, Corey Holcomb I was already familiar with, but DL Hewley, what's this other guy's name here? Mark Curry, and several other comedians, all at Salsa Con Fuego. So my man Mike Neezy, he lives in the Bronx too. He DJs over there, don't you know? So you should go over there. I don't know what the schedule is, but just look it up. Salsa Con Fuego. Okay, that's salsa with fire. Okay, check that out. Just look it up. I forgot what train stop it is. It started with a W though, but I forgot exactly what it's. The train doesn't go over there. You got to catch the bus over there. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. That's why I said just catch it downtown for where it crosses from the Bronx Zoo and Botanical Gardens. Just catch the BX12, catch that straight up, and just keep going straight up past Burlington, all that right there, and you're gonna be right there. You'll see what I'm talking about. You can probably even ask the bus driver. She'll probably tell you what Salsa Con Fuego is. It's a pretty popular club, but that's their thing. They're a bar and restaurant, but they always have. Y'all make sure y'all tell Mike Neezy that Davin was shouting it out. All right. Y'all check out DJ Mike Neezy. That's MikeNeezy. Check him out, Mike Neezy, Bronx best DJ. All right, bet. Yeah, check him out. Tell him Davin sent you over there. He gonna give you all the information you need. That's my man. It was just his birthday too, just recently. I saw you send me thank you. So happy birthday again, Mike Neezy, DJ Mike Neezy. He's the ruler of the house there as far as the DJ is concerned. So they never have any other DJ there. It's one of the best places in the Bronx, I would say, to go and have a good time, a good dinner, good interaction, good people. Very rarely there's a problem there if it is a problem. Salsa, SALSA, separate word now, FUEUGU. Excuse me, GO. So that's FUEGO, fuego. And just enter that into Google, and it should come right up for you. And just make sure you put in the Bronx, put in 10461. Put that in, and it should come directly up. But that's one of the best places in the BX to go to if you want to have a good time. Salsa con fuego. Trust me on that. You know what I mean? I got my mans in there. We go over there all the time. Actually, the last time I was there, that was when Mark Curry's performing. I'll throw up that picture of me and Mark Curry again. I throwing it up in the community section. Y'all make sure y'all go check out the community section. I throw a lot of things up in there, whatever. And also make sure that y'all, what's the name? Donate to my Cash App, man. $STRINGERBELL80. Can somebody write that in the chat room? It's also in the description box here on the video, so you can hit that. If you don't like dealing with that, you can deal with PayPal. I appreciate it very much because it ain't obvious. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing, man. I hate when it's so many bloggers that get online and they lie over and over and over. I don't know if it's an NY thing. It's people from NY that do it too. But the majority of the people I know from the tri-state area, they try to stay away from that Chuck. You know what I mean? Star in the Morning, he doesn't do that. I don't see, who else can I say? Well, fuck DJ Academics. We ain't talking about him. We can do something together about the shelter thing, something real big. There's nothing you can do about it. The only thing you can do about it out here in Connecticut is leave. If I was in the Bronx right now, I'd leave. You know what I mean? That is exactly the gold. But I don't know what you mean. We could do it something together about something real big. Well, I hope so, man. But the Cash App is $STRINGERBELL80. You can hit that up. All the prayers and well wishes, I love that. I do. But I can't do the whole esoteric, metaphysical thing every 5 minutes. I mean, you can't eat air and prayers, my dude. I mean, there's a litany of them that you can mention. I understand what you're saying now. It's a litany of them you can mention, but I think that is the most one right now. You know, if I was Tasha K on here and I was gossiping or whatever, that should be ringing right now. You know what I mean? But, you know, being a fact documentary on this, the bad effects of K2. Yeah, I seen that happen down there in NY too. Like, I say 2017, you really saw that? Well, 2017 going into 2018. So I'm going to say 2018-ish. I saw that for a fact. And I saw a lot of it, really, to be honest with you, right there in Manhattan. That's where I would see it the most at. 2105. I don't know what 2105 means, but okay. But yeah, I saw a lot of that. In the BX specifically, they had an area over in the South Bronx. It was a whole park they had to close down. Oh yeah, please believe that. That's what you would say. You were saying 21. You were trying to say 125th. Oh yeah, Lexington. I heard it was a graveyard out there. That's a fact. I saw a video. I guess it was from CBS News, and they did a whole documentary, and they covered there, and they also covered the Bronx. And I was like, I was looking, yo, wow, that's crazy. Like, you don't even think to yourself, okay, I ain't know something like that was in the Bronx. Like, that's like, people don't realize, just because we live in the Bronx don't mean we all know each other. We ain't even on the same line. So this, for y'all that don't know, it's the 2 line, the 4 line, and the 6 line. You understand what I'm saying? If you live on the 4 line or the 6 line, it's more probability that I would know you if you live on the 4 line than you would the 6 line. If you live on the 6 line, I should never ever have met you. Unless you got on the wrong train. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, 125th been like that for 5 years. I seen down by the Metro North on 125th when I got off this past time. It looked crazy out there. You know, like, it's a complement of 2 different things. It's the complement of the drug abuse that's out there, and there's a couple of the homelessness that was, in my opinion, personally, I think was induced by the pandemic. And there's enough demographics, there's enough strategy I have to show you, hey, listen, there's something going on that's a pattern here and it needs to be eradicated. Now, only thing I'm saying to you is this. I felt like 3 people so far act like my life ain't worth nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I know my story would be better if something tragic happened to me. Y'all would love that. A lot of y'all would. You know what I'm saying? Even if you won't admit it. I get that. And that's fine. We all like a story. But don't ever in your life think that my life ain't important to me. You understand? And I mirror that by saying this. If you are in my trajectory, you don't have a mask on, and now it's not 1, but 2, but 3 men without mask on, the probability of you inducing the chances of me catching COVID-19 have now been heightened because of your negligence. See what I'm saying? Yeah. Ward's Island too. I heard about that. Yeah, my man went out to Ward's. That's not a good place to be. Now, that's on Staten Island, right? Ain't that on Staten Island? Near Staten Island? Because that's what I was trying to tell these guys earlier. We got so many different, like, little islands in Manhattan. Like off the coast of Manhattan, all the way through Brooklyn, everywhere. There's so many different little places or whatever, of little small islands here and there and everywhere. Yeah, it's crazy. It really is. And we have like a whole bunch of little places with little small islands and stuff like that all throughout. I think it's like 70 or 80 little mini islands. Like Elizabeth Island is one of them. Governor's Island is another one of those islands. We have another island out of New York that has a freaking castle on it. I guess the Dutch had left that sometime or another or whatever. So why are you staring at me for? All right. People be acting weird as hell out here, man. Like, when I tell you these people go beyond the means of someone trying to pay attention to them. See, there's not much that happens out here. So, like, the smallest things that happen, they try to make a moment out of it. So this guy's walking with his kid. I'm like, what the hell are you staring at me for if your kid's right there? Like, you got your kid and your wife with you. What do you mean mugging people for? That's again, black, Spanish, or white men. A lot of times they just don't want to fucking grow up. You know what I mean? Black, white, and Spanish men just don't want to grow up sometimes. You know? The 50-year-old teenagers, I call some of them. It's fucking crazy. This guy walks past me with his kid and his girl. And he wants to mean mug and stare, but they won't mean mug and stare at white people. They only mean mug and stare at their own. If you ask me, they're cowards. But, you know, whatever. If you mean mugging and staring your own, but won't mean mug and stare at others, when you call that a coward? What are you trying to extract some dominance over me or something like that? What are you, your fucking mind? Get away from me if I cut your fucking throat. A lot of these guys out here in Connecticut, I don't know whatever reason it is, they all act like tough guys. That's the thing. They want to act like tough guys. But I can guarantee you, most of them, without a pistol, without anything on, without a crew on, they wouldn't walk through Brooklyn like that at 4 o'clock in the morning. I guarantee you that. Huh? I like to see you walk through Sumner at 4 o'clock in the morning like that. It's summertime, with everybody outside, nobody know you. What up, Jerry? What up, Tina? Sumner, what's poppin'? Marcy, what's going on? Down the street. Too much tough guy acting out here. And it's unnecessary. I'm like, what the fuck are you acting like a tough guy for? You act like you live in a tough environment. You live in the fucking suburbs. You know what I mean? At all. And it's gotten worse. It was already like that before, but now you got like nerds acting tough. And I'm like, yo, you're a fucking nerd, bro. And they don't think nothing's going to happen. I'm like, all the gangsters dress like me in New York. I don't know what you're talking about. You know, it's always the same thing. Pants dripping off the ass, fucking 40, 50, 60-year-old men sagging their pants and shit. Like you're supposed to grow. Your attire's supposed to grow with your personality socially. And that's how my father taught me. And he used to get on us all about that shit, you know? Like, pull your shirt up, pull your pants up, whatever, you know? Like, I don't know. I see kids with skinny jeans on, sagging their ass in front of me. I'm like, what the fuck are you looking for, a date? And then they do this other little thing. Anybody else ever peep this out of some of the guys sometimes? I mean, young, old alike. I think the ones that are older are worse. Because now if you're like, I don't know, let me ask you a question. If a guy's like 50 fucking years old, right, and he's still walking around mean mugging like he's some tough guy or some shit like that, what do you say you were to get your ass whooped? Like, you walking yourself into that. So whatever happens at that point happens. And a lot of these guys, these old guys, they think because they were stronger, they could fight 10 years ago. Listen, motherfucker, if you don't do at least 20 push-ups a day like I do, at least at the minimum 20. Don't go out starting fights with people. You're going to get fucked up. I know your mind is telling you can do it, but your motherfucking heart rate, and I can guarantee you your stamina is going to tell you something totally different. Don't let me lie to you, all right? I've seen a lot of guys do that. If you don't work out daily, don't go around starting fights with people. Somebody's going to fuck you up. Your mind's going to tell you one thing, but your strength and your heart rate's going to tell you something else. I'm telling you this. I've seen it happen a million times in New York. Some guy, he starts talking tough, da-da-da-da. One hit, knocks him out. He's done. Same thing happened today. I don't know. I had to make fun and just keep a composure about being out here because it's like, I'm looking at this from, I can't be myself out here. You know, in New York, it's so easy to be myself. You can't even be yourself out here. Out here, you have to be like, hey, my God, how are you doing? And talk all fake and shit. Like, how come I can just say, fuck you, I don't like you? You know what I mean? Like, I'm so used to being that type of person. You know what I mean? Like, I swear to God to you, Keiko, you can't be yourself out here. You know, like, it's a very, it's liberal, but at the same time, their liberalism, liberal belief system, I guess, is expressed almost conservatively. So it makes like this weird fucking mesh. So it's like, okay, you got liberal beliefs, but you enact your liberal beliefs like a conservative. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then be careful, because the motherfucker that's talking the most, talking about being all like fucking, what's the word I'm looking for? Sanctified and dignified and having some, that's the motherfucker doing the most shit out here. Out here, that's how they hide it. Like, they hide the dirt. You know what I mean? Like in New York, we tell our dirt. Like, I don't give a fuck. Fuck you. You know what I mean? They try to hide the dirt out here. So I'm like, okay, so you're really disingenuous because you do dirt, you pledge like you're a fucking saint, but in the back of your mind, you're a piece of shit. Gotcha. You know, so you have to kind of stream through the mentality that happens here. You know, it's fucking hilarious, but it is what it is, you know? You live with it or don't live with it. I just have a personal thing. Every guy that's shaped through those doors where we're at over there at that freaking shelter place, everybody that's come through the door that has been over 50, 55 years old, they literally have a problem adjusting their life. I don't know. Like, look, dude, this is where circumstances have led you. Get out of the circumstances and get something new. And instead of translating that, no. They translate something totally different. And what they translate is, this is the time to act like this is prison. This is the time 50-something-year-old men, 50-plus-something-year-old men, part of Generation X. I mean, excuse me, not Generation X, part of the baby boom generation, in my opinion, acting like this. Salute, Keiko. And so you get a lot of these 50-year-old, I know I'm going a little offline now, but this is some of the responsibility for COVID-19 spreading in the hood. You get these 50-year-old men, and in a lot of cases, you know, same age range with the women, acting still like immature. You know, like they're not only do their actions equate to that, not only their actions, the way they are on a daily basis, the way they interact with each other. I know you ain't trying to scare somebody because I beat the shit out of you. The way they interact, the way they carry themselves is almost like children. I have some more of that shit out here. I told you, all these guys try to walk around like they fucking tough guys. You know what I mean? Everybody's fucking tough until you get your neck slit. The point I'm getting at is this. Somehow or another, these old men are walking around on the trains with no mask on, moving around, talking to you close, or whatever so's case be today with me. And I'm just like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with these old guys when you should be the one that knows better? You ever want to look at some of them like that and just be like, you should be the one that knows? I mean, you're like almost 55, 60 years old and you're still acting like a child. The women, I think, in my opinion, are the worst because the more they get old, the more they start to resent men of color, and they've had all kinds of shitloads of shit that's happened to them for making the wrong decisions on who they dated, who they had a baby by. Well, I'm sorry, chick. That's your fucking problem, not mine. You understand what I'm saying? If I walk in your life or walk out your life, anything that you've been through, that's on you. Same thing with me. You cannot carry your aggression into society and don't think something's fucking mentally unstable about you, because there definitely is. Anyone that walks around, that's just like if I walked around and I had a bad situation with a girl and now I'm mean to every woman that I meet. Every woman that I meet, I'm just like, Well, if I had a bad situation with a white girl or black girl, whatever. I just hate when sometimes you get these 50-plus-year-old motherfuckers that try to take it back and act like, this is not those fucking times. I don't want to hear your I don't want to hear your contrast about Jesus is the way and all this shit. I don't want to hear that shit. You understand what I'm saying? It's good. I know you mean it in good intent, and I praise it. But I don't want to hear that shit all the time. And I don't think anybody does. You know what I'm saying? You ask anybody that's in a situation, they don't want to hear well wishes and prayers. And that's usually what that crowd of 50, 60, 70 something guys, that's what they do and they come with. But at the same time, they out doing fucking dirt themselves, telling you to be a saint. And in many cases, done more dirt than you have because of their age, We have no one to look up to. If you're looking up to these old Latino or black men or even white men, because there's a ton of them in the town I live at, let me tell you, they're walking around homeless or fucked up too, but they on the severity side of it. Like, these are motherfuckers that sleep in the streets, smell, on drugs and alcohol. The drugs and alcohol and all that shit is more important than having a place to live. Let me tell you something. It's going to be 18 degrees one day this week. This is a fact. But those same white men that are drug addicts and alcoholics can get help from their people anytime they need. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? I think it's crazy. I think it's not only crazy, but it pays a testament to a lot of things. It pays a testament to one thing here. That one thing is this. Are people of color somehow innate to only support people that entertain them, not people that actually genuinely need their help? Because that's what I'm finding. I'm finding this with people that are stars. Lord Jamal and his podcast, right? I watched Lord Jamal. Damn, she fine. I watched Lord Jamal. Y'all gotta excuse me. I watched Lord Jamal on his podcast, and he had people giving $100 donations, $200 donations, $300 donations. I watched on Corey Holcomb. I watched on his show. Same thing. $200 donations, $300 donations. And I'm like, these guys are stars. These guys are multi-millionaires to start with. You look gay as shit. These guys are multi-millionaires to start with. And then on top of that, they're just like, why are you supporting them? These are the guys that you want to support. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying that because Corey's my man. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, let me take it back a little bit, because I don't want to seem like I'm hating. I'm just pointing out a point. These men, before this started, were multi-millionaires. They bought everything that they wanted to buy. They have fun. They live lavishly. They drive the biggest cars. Sell one of your cars. If you're in that need of money. And you'll find that so many people in the culture, they'd rather do that because they want to be seen. So that's the equation. The segue is everybody wants to be seen. Well, everybody ain't fucking popular and everybody ain't got something to talk about. I'm sorry. Your boring life, this might be your fucking boring life. It is what it is. But you have so many people that rather donate to that type of cause because they want to be seen. I'm watching one of the Star's channel. Star will sit there and say the same things that I say. Sir, have you made a donation? If you have not, why the fuck are you commenting? Why are you asking me to reread your Cash App or whatever the case may be if you haven't donated in months? We have an engine that we run, and this is what I do, It's just crazy, man. It's so much stress on my mind. There's so many motherfuckers who would love to see me break on camera, and I just will not do it. I just will not do it. Facts, not helping the ones that really need. Exactly, Kiko. That's the only thing I'm saying. And with somebody, if you could, I'm gonna spell this out for you. Could you type this into the comment section? It's Cash App $STRINGER 80. Oh my God. $STRINGERBELL 80. And feel free to hit that up with $100 or $200. Why not? When I had this salacious story to tell, everybody was offering me $2 grand. I'm feeling like I should have took it now. Because the people ain't helping me. That's for damn sure. But it's all good though, because the help I do receive, I receive it from the women. The women are my biggest supporters. That is a fact. And I just want to take 5 minutes to just commend the women that do come through. Like I said, I have Rashida Strober, who's a huge YouTuber, come on one of my lives maybe about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, helped me out throughout the whole show. You just hit the chat button. When you hit the replay, you can see the whole thing in there, interact. I've had other women just come out of the woodworks and, hey, go get you something to eat or da 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 da. Like today, I want to go to Buffalo Wild Wings. I love that. I eat shit. Okay, like, just to be quite frank with you, everything I eat comes out of a microwave. Everything comes out of a pouch. There's no stove for me to cook, so it's like it even messes with your metabolism, if that makes sense. It like makes you sick, kind of, if that makes sense. So I don't know. But enough about that. I wanted to quickly talk about Jay-Z's. Damn. I wanted to quickly talk about Jay-Z's. Y'all hear me say damn or something like that? Because I say a fine ass woman. All right. I want to talk about Jay-Z's new company, MONOGRAM, which is a legal marijuana distribution company, centered around the states, including the state that I'm in right now, Connecticut, that offer legality in purchasing marijuana through a medical marijuana license, which you can ascertain here in the state of Connecticut. It is now Connecticut state statute and has been so for the past, I believe, 7 years, and was amended twice now. Locally here, they have 2 dispensaries, both that you could drive to very easily and purchase marijuana or whatever. So I'm more than familiar with the state, because I live in a state that does it. In New York, it's pretty much the same, but it's a little bit different. In New York City, there's actually edibles, and the edibles are legal. We have, I think it's about 5 trucks, and it's an Israeli guy that actually owns the company. I met the kid, took pictures with him, put him up, everything. And a little short guy, his name is Mikhail. And Mikhail, he hired a whole bunch of guys from ATL, because I guess originally he was in Atlanta, and he came to New York. So all the guys that are on the trucks, they're all from Atlanta. None of them are, or they have that southern accent. You know what I mean? Like, you could tell they're definitely not from the Northeast. Thank you so much, K. Cole. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, and links right there, guys, or the links in the description. But it's Cash App, StringerBell 80, man. Make sure y'all hit that up, man. Let me get something to eat, Sean. I need to cover little things, too, so I get to work. You know what I mean? This MONOGRAM company, I think, is going to set the precedence. One of the things I want to see it do, I want to see the company go public. That would be, and I think it will after about 3 or 4 or 5 months of momentum. They'll start, literally suggesting it, or they'll either actually go public with their IPOs. I think Jay-Z is on the niche of another successful business. I mean, every venture that Jay-Z goes into, he always ends up being successful in it, whether it's alcohol, clothes, and the same thing can be said for Puff. I say, I don't know how to Cash App. That's why I wanted you to leave there. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you something, K. Cole. Go into the description box, right? And if you go into the description box, you're gonna see 2 links. The one link, if you click that link, it's actually a referral link. And what it'll do is, once as you sign up for Cash App, it'll actually automatically give you $10 back, and it'll actually give me $10 for inviting you. So that goes for everybody. If you use my invitation app, I'm an affiliate with them as well. So if you use my link, only my link, it won't do it if you just regularly sign up for it. Click my link. And if you click my link, what will happen is you'll actually be able to go sign up. And once you link your account number, because that's how you have to, routing numbers, because that's how you have to do to send cash. Once you do that, you'll receive $10 in credit to you, just like that. And I'll get it too for inviting you. So That's a little incentive. So even if you donated $10, you'll literally get it right back. And now you have a cash app. You know what I mean? Trust me, it's going to come up. If you don't have Zelle, if you don't have Cash App, if you don't have PayPal, which is the other link that I have in the description box, which is PayPal. So you can use PayPal as well. And then you don't need any sign up. You just, donate what you're ever going to donate. So that's why I have both of them. I have the Cash App and the PayPal. The GoFundMe, as soon as they finish the investigation with that and who did the fake thing for me or whatever, I'll then make a decision whether or not I go back with them. As of right now, I will say this. I like how GoFundMe handled what they needed to handle. I will say that. You know what I'm saying? Because they not only called me back and contacted me, but they did a lot. Man, let me tell you, 305 Capricorn. So the broad at the place where I'm at, she caught freaking COVID-19. The director that's there daily, caught COVID-19. Then they put two motherfuckers beside me last night that didn't even have masks on. You don't have to have either. You could just, if you have a credit card, K Cole, only thing you have to do is just hit the PayPal link. You don't have to have a PayPal account. But Cash App, you do need to have one. But with PayPal, you don't have to have one. So you just go there, click that link, and donate there, dude. Long story short, I don't know exactly. My neighbor died of COVID-19. Like, oh my God, that's horrible. She died of it? Wow. That is sad, man. I'm sorry to hear that. I've had two people that died this year. My friend, of course, Fred the Godson. I wasn't going to say responsible for Fred's career because that's not correct. We were responsible in promoting Fred, and my boss used to manage Fred. Fred was from Honduras. And a good dude, real good dude, man. So, R.I.P. Fred the Godson. And then I had another friend just recently. Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. I have another friend, Stephanie, which you guys heard me mention just a minute ago, and she passed away. When I was saying don't do it, because I told you, these white dudes out here and some of these Spanish dudes, they just, I don't know, they live in an imaginary world. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's a threat in New York. I don't care if you're 5'4", you're a threat. You could potentially be a threat. You know what I mean? Yeah, it is what it is, man. My friend Stephanie, she passed away, and I believe it was from that, because that's what everybody mentioned, so I'm not going to take it any other way. Everybody, please hit that like button, and remember, $ stringer bell 80. I'm keeping the faith. I'm going to get mine up. I already know it. You know what I'm saying? It's just you got to keep believing, man. That's it, So that's how I stay positive. Even through all this, even me punching that motherfucker in his mouth this morning, all through all this, I'm still staying positive. Jay-Z's company, MONOGRAM, I think it's going to take off. I don't only think it's going to take off. I'm hoping that he does some hiring of African Americans and Latinos within the company to the complexity it needs to be. And I also hope that they go public, so people will be able to buy in on their trades and their stocks, But good job, Jay-Z. He's one of the many rappers that jumped into this business. I think a lot of other people should jump into the business. I don't know how a lot of you feel about smoking marijuana. I don't know how a lot of you feel, but to each his own. But there's so many miraculous things that is done as far as old people, as far as a lot of other things. So we want to take that into consideration when we make sure that we not only dismiss it, but we put it in a pawn. I'm trying to figure out who the fuck he's supposed to be. But you have to put it in a position where it's supposed to be not only legal, but be used as a revenue that could bring in some straight money. And I think that's what New York City needs to do. New York City right now has legal the edibles, but they don't have legal marijuana usage. And that state revenue would help fix New York and help fix New York quickly, real quickly. And the legislation needs to be passed to do so. And I don't know what's, taking them so long. Well, guys, I just wanted to talk about that. Like I said, not into much of the best of moves based on hearing that and hearing that the director caught COVID-19. It makes me very nervous because I don't know who else was exposed to her in there who might possibly have it themselves. I don't know any other set of words to express how I feel, how depressed I am, how My anxiety is kicking in. I got to go use the bathroom right now. I need to eat. A whole bunch of things. I can keep going on. We all have our problems. But right now, one of the biggest viruses in America is sweeping through the country. And I implore all you to go down the bottom, just hit my name, hit the link. It will be the last post that I put up. Just hit my name, hit videos, and it'll be the last video I put up. And in that video, what you will hear is, you will hear not only myself, but a group of men, in fact, have a conversation. You better stop punching me if I punch you in your fucking face. You'll hear a group of men. See what I mean? Like, this motherfucker walk past me and they just stare profusely like they're retarded. Like, it's like they do it intentionally to start some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, me talking in my phone, what the fuck does that have to do with you? Walk with your fucking kid and whoever the fuck else is with you. That's the shit that pissed me off. And another reason I want to get the fuck out of here with these fucking weirdos out here. These people are weird. They walk around and they try to start shit all the fucking time and they think there's no repercussions. You're going to have some repercussions with me, motherfucker. And if you ain't learning that now, you're going to start learning it. Stop fucking with people and leave people the fuck alone. Who the fuck are you? That was a fucking immigrant. You're a fucking immigrant walking around staring at somebody with that little anchor baby you got with you. I'm wrong. Jesus, stay with me. Guys, I will check you out later. Like I said, hit the links in the description box or whatever. And I wish Jay-Z the most of success with MONOGRAM, his new company. And also, I want to paint a picture real quick. COVID-19 is real. It's a real virus. I've had 2 friends now die of it in the New York City area. I'm happy to be out of New York. And the duration I've been out of New York has not allowed me to be skewed into thinking like an idiot. But I'll say this much. Most of these punk motherfuckers that walk around in this area around here are some of the most uneducated motherfuckers you will ever meet in your life. For you not to make the distinction that you don't have a mask on, we're in a crowded area and the area is about this big, and it's not only you but another gentleman behind you with no mask on. And you think that that should take protocol and I should put my life to the side based on your need to be right there trying to avoid the rain. Now I want you to let that sink in, people. Let it sink in. Think about what I just said. And that's one thing that happened. Then we have a director that daily comes into contact with the rest of the staff. And now she has COVID-19. If people want to know why I got on here and I got my thing. Guys, if I ain't good enough calls, nothing will be. I know I look good, but baby, my story is real. And y'all too busy following motherfuckers like Tasha K, Storm Monroe, and donating to them that don't do nothing, don't give you nothing, don't say nothing, but rehash the fucking news. All right, guys, I'm out.